YouTubers, Fortune Cookie 45 LC coming to you from the Hot Lead Zone, and today Carrie presented me with a box of old cartridges to examine. Now these he keeps on his dresser as kind of an inspiration. So these are on loan from Carrie, and what they are is a box of originally 50 cartridges made by the Winchester Cartridge Company, and it's designated as 38 Colt Special Smokeless Ammunition. So Carrie and I started to have a discussion as to how old or when these cartridges were manufactured. And Carrie thought that because it's advertising smokeless, that since these are loaded with smokeless and it's talking about smokeless, that it must have been during that era when black powder was transitioning to smokeless. So Carrie's thinking that maybe these are around 1910. Well, I told Carrie, well, let me have this to take home and I'll do some investigation, see if we can figure out how old these cartridges are. Well, the first clue is he got these from an elderly gentleman, and he passed away recently. Probably was born around the year 1920. So I'm thinking that's the first clue, that these are after 1920. Another clue is the head stamp, and unfortunately, if it's military ammo, it'll have the year of manufacture. Well, no such luck. This is commercial ammo. Winchester Repeating Arms Company, 38 Colt Special. So that's no help. Interestingly, that Colt never had a special on their ammo. You had the 38 short Colt, you had the 38 long Colt, and that was infamous because the 38 long Colt failed to stop the charges of the Moro tribesmen in the Philippines during the insurrection there. So it turns out that there is no special attached to a Colt cartridge. What they're referring to is the 38 Smith & Wesson Special cartridge, or 38 Special. And what Colt decided to do was to call their version of the 38 Special the Colt Special because it could be chambered into Colt revolvers. And that kind of thing was done back in those days. So that's no help. Turns out I went ahead and used a micrometer and measured the dimensions of this cartridge, and these are 38 Special cartridges. The same diameters and the same rim, the same length, overall length, the same 158 grain lead bullet. So these are 38 Special cartridges, and they designate them as Colt Special, but they're really 38 Special Smith & Wesson Specials. Now here's a clue. On the box it says there that it's adapted to the following guns: 38 Colt Army Special, the 38 Colt Police Positive, and the Smith & Wesson New Military Revolver. Well, what they're referring to there is the Colt Army Special and the Colt Police Positive. Now the Colt Army Special was made in the year 1908 to the year 1927. So that's the window of the cartridge manufacturer. Could be anywhere from 1908 to 1927. Now the Colt Police Positive revolver was made between the years 1907 and 1947. But if it were made in the year 1947, these cartridges in 1947, they wouldn't have been mentioning the Army Special as a Colt because the official police took over for the Army Special back in 1927. So the box would have said official police instead of Army Special. So I'm thinking that since the 38 Special killed off the 38 long Colt, that Colt stuck the Special on this cartridge probably earlier on, so that these cartridges are probably somewhere around the 1915 era, 1917, and perhaps these cartridges were owned by the gentleman's father, and they were passed on to him, and that's how they came down to this present age and into Carrie's hands. This box and this ammo is very collectible in any regard, but here's one final clue, and that is on the bottom of this is a tag that it was sold at the Mazzini Hardware and Sporting Goods store on Park Street in Alameda, California. Well, you remember about Alameda, California, right? That's where they keep all the nuclear vessels. Star Trek, the movie about the whales. And the phone number is Alameda 480. Well, that's a big clue, because the 3-digit phone numbers were in vogue around the year 1930. So the best bet is that these cartridges were manufactured somewhere around the year 1926, 1927, and they were purchased by the father of the older gentleman that passed away recently. And these cartridges were well taken care of for all these years. Of course, there is corrosion of the lead, and there is lead dust inside this. I'm going to wash my hands after I get done. Carrie, you got Roaring 20s and you got Great Depression ammo here, and it's very collectible. And YouTubers out there, this is good for us to know. If you're running into these old boxes are as collectible as the ammunition is. See you next video. Bye for now.